We're 60 minutes in here, guys.
Oh,
How
come on.
dare you?
40 minutes of that was you guys talking about E3. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dim Carnival. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And this week we're talking about the second half of the first volume of Forgotten Fresh, Volumes 1 and 2. That is, if you have the physical CDs, and why the hell would you? It's the second 5 tracks 6 through 10.
I have
off of the Forgotten Freshness Volume 2 CD1. If you're listening on Spotify, it's broken down by disc. Spotify is good and nice that way. But the first track that we listened to this week, Fuck Off. If you haven't listened to it, go ahead and do that right now.
So I don't give a fuck about what none of y'all think. What I do is so I wreck the place. I run around the stage, kicking bitches in the face. Cause I ain't nothing soft. So you and your boys can straight fuck.
You might be familiar with this song if you've been listening to this podcast since its inception or for a while, because this is, of course, the titular track off of Shaggy 2 Dope's first solo EP. We listened to it, we discussed it, so you can go listen to that episode if you haven't done that. But I don't know if you guys had any thoughts revisiting this track a little bit after we covered the Shaggy 2 Dope solo EP?
Well, no, it's just, if I didn't point out the first time, I just have to say, I love that he says, all I want to be is a fat fucking slob. It's my favorite line.
It's a good one.
It's a good attainable life goal.
Yes.
Maybe this goes hand in hand with Fat Sweaty Betty and Jay wanting to feed Betty. But maybe
Could be.
not.
Also, it stood out to me again. Jay grabbing your mom's face and saying "fuck off," but he doesn't say it like that. He says it a little rougher.
Fuck off.
And yeah, exactly. Still, just so brilliant. Yeah.
Ryan, any thoughts revisiting this track?
I don't really agree with the way that Shaggy 2 Dope treats women.
Yeah. I actually noted that again.
This is my final takeaway from this. Is like, I just don't, I think differently. I think women should be treated differently. And that's okay.
Differently than Shaggy treats them.
Correct.
Yeah,
With respect for human beings.
Well. But he does have sex with the teacher. I said last week that I think he says he has sex with her in such a manner that turns her Ned hairs gray. That was last week.
Yes. One of the things I do get mixed up a little bit, and it's not to try to take away from the seriousness of like when they do say something that is just over the top. I do forget sometimes they call men and women bitches, and sometimes he'll be saying something he's doing to a bitch. And it may even more be my Violent J verses when I realize they're actually talking to a dude.
Yeah.
Although part of that is still supposed to be derogatory because he's calling a dude a bitch. Right. So you can talk about that. It's like also using the F word, the homophobic slur as an insult. So
the bad F word.
Or the R word.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Oh my god, dude. I can't believe recently, a couple weeks ago, I was like at a house party or whatever, a dinner, and people were throwing the R word around. It's like, how are we saying this word right now? It's crazy.
Yeah, God bless my mom. I've been working where I work for 13 years now, and for at least the last 12 years, we've been on a campaign to erase the R word, and it's built momentum. Movies like Tropic Thunder coming out really actually helped elevate the voice of the developmentally disabled community with something like that. But God bless my mom, like we'll be talking and she'll use the R word, and I'll be like, Mom, please don't say that. And she's like, oh, I don't ever say that. I'm like, you just did. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't think of it. And then like 10 minutes later, she uses it again. And sometimes I almost feel like it's like used as a replacement for a racial slur. And I'm not trying to say my mom's racist. That's not what I'm, it's not like she's trying to drop the R word for the N word, but I still like over the whole, like cusp of listening to people just use the word. People as they get more shamed for using, derogatory terms for racial, groups and minority groups. I mean, they like feel okay to use the R word like it's different. And so anyways,
Yeah, well, it's
I just
bullshit.
like totally like told everyone my mom's a racist. Damn it.
I can cut it out if you want me to.
Nah, I mean she's not she would never tell you she's a racist, but
we're all
white
racist,
all racist,
especially our moms.
Yeah.
I mean, white people that vote in ways that help sustain white male patriarchy is racism. So even if they don't see it as like maybe they would never say something overtly racist against any particular minority group, the way they vote and the way they support white supremacy and just the structure of our society and
Yeah, man. That's what racism is now.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But, a lot of white people don't see it that way.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
No way, man. Racism ended in 2008.
I would have.
I was there.
Obama 3 times if I could have.
Yep. That's just
I was
done.
there when it ended.
Then we don't need political correctness anymore, so we can go back to saying the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And get our rebel flags back out.
Fuck your rebel flag.
Fuck your rebel flag. All right.
We brought it back around.
Yeah, we sure did.
My only observation about fuck off this time is every time I hear it, I'm amazed at the production quality.
It's still like song, God damn it.
Just because I just have throughout my entire ICP fandom, I would just look at that cover art and be like, there's no, I look at that cover art and be like, I've heard Dog Beats. There's no fucking chance in hell this album's good at all. I expected it to sound like, I don't know, recorded on a karaoke machine and not a single competent rhyme on it. But I mean, it's a solid EP,
I kind of expected it to sound like early DC Talk or Michael Peace.
I expect it to sound like a fucking Speak and Say or whatever, the fucking wheel, the cow goes moo. Spin.
Spell a word.
Speak and Spin?
Speak and Say, I don't know. Spell and Speak, I don't remember that.
Push
the
lever down.
Speak and spell.
No, that was
Spell
something else.
Word.
No. You push. Speak and
play
rules.
a game.
Yeah, speaking of spell rules, the thing where it's like a circle and you push the lever down and it spins.
Oh
The
yeah.
cow
Or
goes,
the older ones, you pull you put it at the moo, or you put it at the cow, and you pull the string, and it spins around and it lands. It's all moo.
Yes.
Wow, Shaggy's better than that. Come on, man.
Sure, now I know that. Well, the next track we're talking about this week is called I Didn't Mean to Kill Him. So if you didn't mean to listen to this song, if you meant to listen to this song,
But didn't.
go ahead and listen to that right now.
Rude. It's Jimmy, a man, a punk ass. So I threw a left hook at him. Splash! Then I came back with a right hook. Pow! He fell to the ground. I didn't mean to kill him. What the hell did you do to Jimmy? Oh my god!
All right, welcome back. This is I Didn't Mean to Kill Him, a song by the Insane Clown Posse that we're talking about. And it's a story of a murderer. And it's about a guy who went looking for a date, but a guy opened the door and he punches a guy. and accidentally kills him. And
He didn't kill him.
And then, well,
He didn't kill him with that punch.
He punches him. It says he didn't mean to kill him, and then he wakes up in the hospital.
So he clearly wasn't dead.
So every time, it's just Violet J, or the narrator, is continually beating this guy up for what he feels are understandable, provoked reasons. And every time he knocks a guy out, he thinks he killed him, but he tries to protest that he didn't mean to. And every time that he thinks he killed Jimmy, the woman that he's trying to date reacts with horror. And he says, hey, I didn't mean to kill him, I'm sorry. And then it happens again. It's a real comedy of errors here. It's straight out of Shakespeare, really. Some real Twelfth Night situations.
I had never heard this song before.
Yeah, same.
There's 2 songs on this I'd never heard before in this episode, and this is one of them. And I really enjoyed the song. I was just like, this is really funny. But my favorite part was, like you said, the girlfriend's reaction to Jimmy. Where they didn't even use a feminine voice to try to be her screaming. It's just, Jimmy!
I love that part
too,
Steve.
We find out at the end of the song that Jimmy Bowles is the name of this person that he accidentally kills. And eventually Jay is threatened to run afoul of Detective Fucknut, but manages to hastily, cleverly pull a Weekend at Bernie's situation, and now he hangs out with the dead guy and flicks his toes off.
Into fish tank.
Yeah. But what this made me think of, especially at the end, is like, as I was listening to it, I was like, Jesus, how has ICP never done like a Weekend at Bernie's type song? But then I realized, they probably definitely have by this point. So I'm looking forward to whenever we get to that.
Well, they definitely have songs about like necromancy, but not just hanging out with a dead body.
Yeah, I don't know if you have ever seen Weekend at Bernie's, but there's no necromancy in it.
Right. I mean, but he's okay. What about Mad Professor?
No, because he
reanimates him.
Jesus. I mean, I say Weekend at Bernie's, I mean Weekend at Bernie's. I'm not like, as much as I would love to see a movie where Adam Goldberg and Andrew McCarthy fucking necromance some shit. That would be amazing.
Voodoo. They will use voodoo.
Yeah. I think they could do a good job with that.
I think this is I agree with you. This is, off the top of my head, this is the closest thing. I mean, because everything else is like, maybe they have heads.
My point is, like, they've done so many songs that we haven't heard at this point that they probably get there. So I'm excited to get to there. But now I definitely am going to write a Weekend at Bernie's 3 where they just like make a pact with Satan and reanimate Bernie.
Right. The long dead Bernie, like 30 years later.
Yeah, they're like, okay.
And he runs for president in 2020.
It's not a blue. And
we still have Bernie Bros.
So they're like, we've been pulling off this flawlessly for 30 steady years. But people, you know what? There are big pieces of him missing at this point. He's essentially a skeleton. It's getting harder and harder to maintain the ruse. So they get into the dark arts and black magics, and they make a pact with Satan and resurrect Bernie, and it's perfect. But then Bernie develops a demonic bloodlust and goes on a rampage, and then the irony, the ultimate irony, is they have to kill Bernie. Like, this is the full circle of Weekend at Bernie's, because they've created a monster they can no longer control, so now they have to slay Bernie.
Right.
God,
I think you need to pull that into a trilogy.
Do this. No, it is a trilogy because they made.
No, I mean the last piece of trilogy.
Yeah. Speaking of
That's
which,
what I meant.
guys, did you see the trailer for the new Halloween?
No.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, it's gonna rule because it ignores everything after Halloween 2. And Laurie Strode has just been sitting around for 30 years waiting to kill Michael Myers. Ah, God, that's gonna rule. It's a direct sequel.
Yeah, that sounds brilliant.
It looks really, really good.
It's gonna be so good. So I didn't mean to kill him, guys.
Guys, this is my favorite song this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love this. Love this song.
The competition was not fierce. Let us be honest.
That's true. But just the music, the whole tone of it, it has this really kind of whimsical, fun, but kind of laid back. Like it's not really. It's just the song is just being itself, which I think is a unique thing for an ICP song.
For sure, this song is just showing up, ringing the ding dong, grabbing its wing long.
Dead in the ping hole. I wrote that down. He stuck her dead in the ping hole. Which hole is that?
Yeah.
It says ping hole.
I wrote down wick whack.
Okay, I love first of all, I love the music. Especially the thing that's going on in the back.
Yes.
Love it, and it's part of all makes this music with the guitar riff and the groan and all that. It's so great. But
also, if they catch me at the death chair, which is I guess an electric chair for clowns.
Okay. You don't know.
Okay, so we mentioned that you broke down the story perfect, Bill. So he hits the guy and he's not sure, so he goes to the hospital to check and make sure that he's okay. And he sees that he sees that he's all right. He's the guy's sitting out in front in a wheelchair with a neck brace on. And so Violent J goes up to like apologize or whatever, like make sure that he's all right. And the guy croaks out and punches her weak.
So he pours beer in the guy's IV.
Oh yeah,
and
right. He's hooking him up.
He's trying to speak, and so it might just be the guy being like, "Oh, please don't put beer in my IV," and like swatting at him to try and get him to stop pouring beer in his IV. But now he's trying to punch him, and so he gets to the chin, pulls his lungs out, and starts choking him. Basically, this second verse is just when Steve Austin hits Vince McMahon on the head with a bedpan.
Yep. Which is funny. I mean, although I don't know the time frame of these songs being written, but later on there is a mention of not doing something because he's going to go watch Nitro.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. This song was meant to be on Riddlebox, was scrapped, and ended up being the B-side of the Chicken Huntin' single.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it does predate that famous introduction of Mr. Sacco and hospital fight between Steve Austin and Mr. McMahon.
There might be something else that this song predates.
Uranus?
Good taste.
Okay, so earlier Steve mentioned he likes the parts where the girlfriend's screaming, "Oh my God, you killed Jimmy."
It has to be a South Park reference.
So she says it 3 different ways, and the last time she says it, she says, "Oh my God, you bastards, you killed Jimmy."
Yeah.
Which sounds real familiar to me, but if this song were to have appeared on Riddlebox, which came out in 1995, as you said, then it would have been recorded in 1995 or earlier. And I looked up.
That predates.
I looked up when South Park came out. The television show South Park came out in 1997.
Wow.
But
when did Spirit of Christmas come out?
Okay, so the first ever animated South Park thing was Spirit of Christmas, and it's Jesus versus Frosty.
Yeah.
And that came out in 1992. And in that episode, Cartman, it's Kenny gets killed, but it's Cartman. But he says, "Frosty killed Kenny." That's it. No, oh my God, no, you bastard.
Wow. The only thing that's crazy, because it's definitely like, it's just straight up like a South Park line. It's like the tone of voice, the delivery, the wording. What we're unable to verify at this moment is whether that line appears this way on the B-side for Chicken Huntin', whether they retooled the song between Riddlebox and putting it out, whether they retooled it again before they put it on Forgotten Freshness.
Right, because here we're in Forgotten Freshness is 1998,
right,
which is obviously well after South Park would have been a huge phenomenon.
For sure.
So that's possible that they could have gone back.
And songs seem to be remixed on this.
So I just thought it was interesting.
No, super interesting. And if anyone has any information as to the differences, because we probably won't remember to go look, try and look them up, hit us up.
Oh, I definitely
dimcarnival@gmail.com. But I want to hear your final thoughts on this track.
Well, I got drunk because I didn't know we were going to do this, so I wouldn't have been drunk doing this. So partly, I'm not going to remember a lot of things.
Hell yeah.
Certainly not going to remember to do that.
That's why we're putting it on wax, baby.
So at the end, he says he takes the body home to hide it, and then kind of becomes friends. They start getting along, and he's hanging out, and sometimes he does he ever do anything? I can't remember. All he says is that he doesn't eat that much, and he flicks his toes off.
Yeah,
but sometimes they watch
dominoes.
videos, they hang out, and I was trying to think: is there anybody else in the mythos or universe of ICP that is like a dead guy that they hang out with? And I thought about Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of too.
As being
that's a wrestler,
right? And I tried to look up the origins of Evil Dead, the character. But it doesn't say, what I was able to find doesn't say exactly where he came from. So I don't know if that's out there, if that information is out there, or if there's a possibility that this dead dude that they used to hang, that is their friend, becomes Evil Dead, who's really just like a flopping around dead guy,
Is Jimmy their friend? I thought it was just some
No,
dude.
yeah, he's just a punk
Well,
ass.
he didn't start off being friends, but he became his roommate. He became his
roommate after he took him home to hide the body.
Yeah, but he still enjoys his company. The only thing that I didn't understand about being a good roommate, I can see not eating his food, or just not eating too much and all that stuff, but he can't possibly pay rent. So he's still a body taking up space. He would have everything he likes about, but I guess he likes the company.
Yeah, he just likes him being there, because before he just lived obviously he was taking care of Ren okay before Jimmy came around. So he's just likes having him there. And also, I do like you pointing out that not that he doesn't eat, but he doesn't even eat much.
Right.
So that I just like to picture that every Domino's that Jay orders, he shoves a slice in Jimmy's mouth. Jimmy.
Maybe he did that whole thing like in Dead Alive where the nurse zombie has her head broken back and they're just putting the eggs down her throat. Yes. He don't eat much. Why would you feed that? Oh, it's great. Good stuff.
I went to the Overkill's The Walking Dead booth at E3, and they had a area where you can hold some fake guts over your guts, and a zombie pretends to eat your guts, and that's cool. But the picture I took, it kind of looks like the lady's just blowing me, which is I can't use that anywhere, man. And I gotta imagine that
generally comes out that way.
Yeah. I gotta imagine that the vast majority of people who are oh, this seems like a cool photo, let's do it, and then they get the picture and they're like, oh.
Well, when you were posing for the picture, were you kind of oh, this is kind of like that.
It only occurred to me when she bent down and the guy took the picture. I was like, oh no. I was like, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah.
I'm looking at the motherfucking menu.
I want a motherfucking Cholito. So I Didn't Mean to Kill Him was cool. We can all agree. So let's move on to the next track, which is another one of our favorites, another Shaggy solo track called Southwest Strangla. And if you haven't listened to it, go ahead and do that right now.
I went next, so I go to I took a pelican, I didn't whack. I took an ostrich, long ass neck. But I'd rather be chilling at the farm. I pick up my steak, I get the meat on my...
Alright, so Southwest Strangla, the backstory on this one, when we talked about Fuck Off, we covered this, but in the Fuck Off EP, when it was first released, there were some ads in the booklet for an upcoming full-length album coming from Shaggy 2 Dope called Shags the Clown, and that ended up being an album that was never released. But this is a track that was recorded for this album that was never released until Forgotten Freshness, Southwest Strangla. And boy, you sure can't tell why this song wasn't released before this. This song...
It's okay. It's okay, man. It's not that bad.
I really like this song. Damn it.
Shaggy has referred to himself as a Southwest Strangla on many occasions, but this is the only song where he really goes into detail about his nefarious exploits as the titular Southwest Strangla. And really, he's just addicted to choking necks. He even has to go to the zoo to choke an ostrich, which has a long ass neck.
Yes.
Probably very satisfying.
It's a silly
brilliant.
song. It's a silly song, but it's just like it seems like it seems and feels so terribly low effort. Like he's not trying very hard in this song. That's what it sounds like to me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Or maybe it's just
really
his
get that.
flow isn't right. I don't know.
I love this song. I've been listening to this song for years, though.
Okay.
I had this part of my rotation.
I think we Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear this song. Because I'm right there in the middle.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but I was unimpressed by it.
Wow, that's too bad.
I do like the detail that he has big hands, which is definitely a famous first. We've never heard anything about the size of Shaggy's hands.
And because of the context of why it's said, they call him the ghost of the Badlands, but he's really just a killer with big hands. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah,
I can't believe
rad
you didn't
line.
like that. Like, he's like they think he's a ghost in the halls at the school, but he's not. He's just a still fucking creep who hasn't left high school. They've been in a lot of songs at this point. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Well, when he was in second grade, he had a beard.
Second grade, he had a beard.
Although he doesn't say what age he was in second grade.
That's true.
It does, yeah. I mean, I really like this song. I like I said, I have a back history with it. Just like I caught on to this song right after I was living with you guys, and you guys moved off to like San Jose and stuff. I think that's where you went next, and I moved in over at on Munich Street, and I just started listening to all kinds of, like, so Santa's a Fat Bitch is going to be right along with this song, because I love that song too. And it has a lot to do with just like playing in a cool band that I was in at the time, and playing shows, and being at school, and being a middle to late 20-something in school. So it was funny because I worked a bunch, and then all of a sudden I got and so I had this time in my life where I worked and had this structured life, and then in my late 20s going to school. And so there's a few songs in Santa is a Fat Bitch, and this song definitely play in that era of just hanging out, playing shows, and being drunk a lot, and trying to make my friends like these songs, and they never did. But I liked them.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was I feel like it's mostly pretty heavy in tone. And it doesn't really let up from that very much. It's just kind of an aggressive song, I guess. But I think it made me think most of the Killing Fields. I feel like the elements of the song are pretty similar, those two.
I guess I always just listen to this song in context of it being funny to me, especially because I was also, at the same time I was listening to this, I was listening to Tunnel of Love that has all those like goofy sex songs, and like everything was just goofy. So hearing this just seems silly to me still. Like I didn't see it as being so serious.
Oh yeah, it feels serious to me.
Wow. And then even re-listening to it because of that past, like, I still just, like, it just made me laugh as I listened to it.
Yeah, it seems pretty silly. I mean, he sees a lady and she makes his nutsack hard.
Well, my favorite line in the song is when he says, "Are you hungry? Well, I got some nuts." Like,
yeah. I see what Ryan's talking about. Like, to me, it seems more silly because it feels very loosey goosey, but not in a good way. Like I said, it seems very low effort. It seems sloppy. It seems like a sloppy song.
I agree with you.
But I also, the subject matter is like he's saying silly stuff, but he's talking like in serial killer terms, where like he's obsessed with necks, and even when a lady's going down on him, something snaps in his mind, and then he has to make her neck long and skinny like a French fry. He needs to choke any neck, so he'll even go try choking animals' necks, which I guess that's the second instance of animal cruelty. That both in Forgotten Freshness. First, we get the deep fried poodle nutsack, and now we get choking out some birds. So I get what Ryan's saying about like the subject matter and the production, making this kind of a dark song and like an evil song. But I mean it's very silly what he's saying, but at the same time not. But since it's such a sloppy song, I hear it as more silly. But that's just a product of like how I'm receiving the song in my brain. Yeah.
And I think this is a good example of us having a place in our life where a song stands out for whatever reason, and having, like, as you explain the song, I can see exactly what you guys are saying, and I don't disagree.
Right.
But like, I think it has a lot to do with just like what this song means to me in my personal life, and like what I was doing and the fun I was having, and like this song plays a role in that. And so like I have this like crazy huge bias to a song that's probably should be categorized as a bad song, maybe. And I don't like say that because I love this song. Yeah, but I can't disagree with what you guys are saying.
I wouldn't, Steve. I think it's super interesting that we all three had a really different take on it, or a different experience with it. And it's interesting because we usually agree, but yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of the ways that we're thinking about it.
The last thing I want to say about the song is, while we're talking about like the more serious aspect of it, there's lots of songs where they talk about stabbing people. Of course, hatchets and axes are a big part of the ICP mythos. They talk about killing people via ridiculous ways, like stretching their nutsacks back and flinging them up their butthole, or, kicking someone's head off, or, beating someone to death, or even they kill people with guns. But I think this is probably the first song that deals with something that's so visceral. Like, I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. I read a lot about like serial killers and stuff, and strangulation is an extremely brutal, extremely intimate method of murdering someone. And even amongst like multiple murderers or serial killers, it's a very specific subset of murderer that is okay with strangling people, choking someone to death with their bare hands. So like there's an extra level of brutality that's involved with this persona of Shaggy Two Dopes.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that, like, even not intentionally, but like knowing that it's like a brutal way to kill somebody. If you want to write a song about being fucking bad,
Yeah.
write a song about strangling women. There you go. You're fucking evil, man.
What's the most gnarly thing I can think of?
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. I really appreciate in the third verse, there's a little, like a clip or a little medley of ICP tracks that are all mixed together in a cool melodic way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Psychopathic, which was on Carnival of Carnage, is the first clip. The second one, I'm assuming is 17 Dead, but they might say that on other tracks, but I just assume it's on 17 Dead, which was on Beverly Kills. So that's the first album and then their second album. And the third one is Schizophrenic, which unfortunately doesn't keep... I was like, when I was listening to them, I was like, holy shit, are these in chronological order? But they're not. It goes to Terror Wheel, which actually is in chronological order, but skips Ringmaster. And then the last one is The Loons, which is on Ringmaster. So they are in chronological order, but I thought it's not like from one record to the next leading up to this one or something like that. I thought it might be some cool hidden thing like that. But it almost is.
It's also not exclusively Shaggy tracks or clips.
And I feel like, and I'm not too sure, man, I'm not a connoisseur of scratching, but it's getting better. He does a pretty good job on this track, I feel like. It's the same kind of like meow, 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 over and over in different ways, but shit, man, I couldn't do that shit.
Scratching is a little hard now.
Keep it up, Shags.
Just been in his room, he's sweating, he's just scratching so vociferously. Just like, I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna scratch these records. Alright, shall we move on to the next track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've defeated Steve.
We're gonna bring him back.
Alright. Well, this next song is Santa's a Fat Bitch, which appeared on A Carnival Christmas, which we debated covering, but decided not to because most of the tracks will appear on these Forgotten Freshnesses. So, if you haven't listened to Santa's a Fat Bitch, go ahead and listen right now.
I see you getting paid, leading a parade. I'm that sniper on the building. Listen to my 9 go click. Santa's a fat bitch. Santa Claus is a fat bitch. Another year and I ain't getting...
Guys, I love the song.
Horses, 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 horses.
Yes. I don't think I'd ever listened to this. I mean, I know for a fact I've never listened to this song all the way through. I loved it. I was won over completely by the Paul Bearer reference in the first chorus. Did you guys not catch that reference?
No.
No. I couldn't understand the high pitched stuff.
Okay, so they're
and I didn't read the lyrics. Sorry.
Yeah. So the chorus is them singing "Santa Claus is a fat bitch," and then the alternating lines, the refrains are a falsetto Violet J saying different stuff. So it's like Santa Claus is a fat bitch. That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they do that another year and I ain't get shit. If I hear him land on my roof, oh my Undertaker. Which is such a wild thing to put in a 1994 fucking Christmas track about beating up Santa Claus. And like, it's such a free association thing because it doesn't have anything to do with anything. They're just kind of using a Paul Bearer voice, and they wanted to drop in a Paul Bearer reference.
That's brilliant.
This is like, honestly, I feel like this is like, especially for the 1994 era Insane Clown Posse, one of their strongest like choruses. Like, it's got a good hook. It's like singy instead of chanty. It's very melodic. And there's something undeniably like gleeful and fun about like
yeah.
It's great.
I liked it. Ryan liked it, but didn't like it as much as Didn't Mean to Kill Him.
Yeah, no, I think it's super fun. And it's like, I guess it's ultimately kind of a depressing idea. But
Yeah, it's brilliant. That's why I love it.
But their approach to it is like, it's that ICP mentality of like, well, fuck it, this is my lot. You know, I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be straight with what I got. But you're rich and whatever, so I'm gonna take it to you, because I'm fine. But you're an asshole.
Well, I like the turn that the song makes, because it's actually a really wonderful reveal in the song, because the first couple verses, they're bad-mouthing Santa Claus because Santa didn't get them anything cool, didn't bring them something, and it's like, oh, like, you know, if you know anything about ICP, you could say, oh, well, they don't deserve to get a visit from Santa Claus. They fucking kill people and beat people up and are wicked and, like, do crazy things and dip nuts in soups and things. And you could also read it as, like, oh, they're just bitter because they didn't get anything good from Santa, but, like, does anyone get anything good from Santa? Like, that sort of thing, where it's, like, could just be hubris or, like, sour grapes. But then the twist at the end of, like, no, fuck Santa, because he doesn't visit the poor kids. He doesn't go to the ghetto, and he specifically steers clear of it. Like, that's a hell of a reveal, man.
Yeah, no, that's what makes the song so great to me.
I mean, if I was poor and I couldn't afford to buy my kids Christmas presents, I would absolutely play this song for them, and I would say, fucking Santa doesn't give a shit about poor people. And that's the bottom line, man. He sucks.
George Bush and Santa.
That's right. Okay, but in the end of the first verse, he says, I'm the sniper on the building. Listen to my 9 go click. Is he trying to snipe Santa at a parade with a 9mm?
He's actually referring to his 9-inch. Yes.
I think he is.
9. No, I got nothing.
Yeah. They don't make a 9 caliber rifle.
Oh yeah, I mean basically that's a little bit bigger than a 22. So yeah, I mean
they probably are.
So technically, yes, they do.
I know. I don't know anything about guns, so I don't even know if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, well, you know,
it is funny.
I don't know anything about guns either.
I just think his 9mm click is like a handgun, so that's what makes me think that he's trying to shoot him with a 9mm handgun.
You don't snipe with a 9mm.
Yeah. You don't. It's just not done, fellas.
I don't know.
You wouldn't snipe with a 22.
You wouldn't steal a car.
You wouldn't download a car.
You don't know what I'd do.
I downloaded it one piece at a time.
Oh, that's the best, dude.
You think that's how? Is that how toys were invented? Is they're like, oh, you wouldn't steal a car, and then you wouldn't download a car joke, and then some hacker was listening to one piece at a time, and he's like, shit. What if you could download shit one piece at a time? Holy fuck.
No, that's it. He's sneaking the car out from the 3D printer at work one piece at a time.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Just one piece. They won't miss one piece that I printed.
God, you guys need to make memes. You guys just wrote like 100 memes right there.
If you could 3D print a hoopty, that'd be the shit.
No, a big black Cadillac, motherfucker.
With 20 years worth of different parts.
Right. 2 horns on
you're
one
having
side.
to re-drill the block just so you can like line up the you can line up the headers and everything. Transmission doesn't fit.
Got one tailfin.
Got one. That's a brilliant song. Jesus Christ. We got to do a podcast
me for a
on that
spin.
song.
Yeah, we're gonna do our Johnny Cash podcast after we finish this one, and it's gonna be 1,000 episodes. We're gonna die.
Honestly, I didn't know if the Johnny Cash reference alone was gonna be enough to put a picture of Johnny Cash on the Instagram later. But now that we've talked about it,
please try to find the one where he's giving the finger to the camera.
Okay, sure. Now that
it's not hard to find. It's just when you Google Johnny Cash.
Right, it's the first one.
I've never Googled Johnny Cash.
There are going to be people who aren't aware there's another existing picture of Johnny Cash.
Except for the one where he's eating cake in the bush. You ever see that one where he's like totally wasted? He's eating a whole birthday cake.
Well, they're both going up
in
now.
The bushes. Oh, that's such a great picture. He's with a smile on his face.
What were we talking about? Nine
Santa Claus is a fat bitch.
Yeah. Something about a 9.
Yeah, you can't.
One piece
you
at a
can't
time.
snipe
This
with a 9
is-
millimeter.
9 tangents we just fucking went on.
So, anyways, Santa Claus is a fat bitch. At the end there was a clip of a song, and I wanted to look it up what it was.
Yep. Buck Owens.
Yeah, it's Buck Owens.
And he's here to fuck Owens. So look out, Clive Owen and Owen Hart and Owen Meany. I don't care if they have a song for him. He's gonna get fucked.
Yeah,
No, it's a good song.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Buck Owens, check that bad boy out. Final thoughts on Santa's a Fat Bitch, gentlemen.
I think, guys, it's getting on to be the witching hour.
Yeah.
Ooh, my Undertaker. Alright. Well, the last track we're talking about this week is Witching Hour, which is actually a Misery track featuring Insane Clown Posse from Misery's full-length album Para la Isla, which came out on Psychopathic Records. And if you want to listen to Witching Hour and you haven't done so, or if you want to refamiliarize yourself with this track, go ahead and do that right now.
Lost soul on a trip. Time's up, clock tick, hour to bewitched. Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time, motherfucker!
Guys, this is a real rap track.
This is a
There's
rap.
ripping and rapping.
This is a rap song.
With the hipping and the hopping. It's I feel like it's a totally solid rap track that's got Violent J on it, and it's not as innovative for ICP as the Project Born track Graveyard was, where we saw ICP doing completely different lyrical styles to fit in with the Project Born guys. This one fits very much more in line with what we know about ICP and their more serious tracks. But I thought it was totally decent rap track. Like, nothing memorable, nothing special, but like nothing bad either.
It's like a pretty straightforward horrorcore rap song.
Yeah. I thought it sounded like a Dark Lotus song.
Yep, that's the same note that I wrote, buddy.
Hmm?
Really made me think of Dark Lotus.
Yeah.
It did sound like a Dark Lotus track. And guys, what do you know about Misery? What you know about Misery?
I was hoping we would talk about Misery a little bit.
What? Well, there's never going to be a better time to do it.
Until we do our what is that called? Riff track of Big Money Hustlers.
Yeah.
Misery, oddly enough, is related to Violent J through marriage. So Misery's sister is Jumpsteady's wife.
Mm-hmm. He's a Puerto Rican rapper who, not that defines him, but he is indeed Violent J's brother-in-law. I guess this was an EP, Para la Isla. It wasn't a album.
Well, then it wasn't.
Yeah, it was an EP.
Was it successful at because Project Born wasn't, right? And I feel like that's what they're trying to promote.
It was more successful than Project.
I imagine it would be.
Also, they're related, so
yeah, he's not going anywhere, man.
Violent J didn't have skin in the game with Project Born.
Right. My favorite line in the song is when he says, "Lead got you going sleep."
Yes. Much like the hit movie Chappie, when they convinced Chappie the robot that dead people are asleep so that he'll kill people for them. It's the exact same thing.
This is where, and okay, so now they are the intellectual property owners of Chappie as well.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Misery technically is.
And Misery invented Chappie.
Do ICP and Die Antwoord kick it? Are they?
God damn, they should.
They probably have a pretty good time together.
I don't think ICP's ever been to South Africa, and I don't think Deontford's ever been out of South Africa, so...
I imagine they get along.
Oh, man, they'd get along like a house on fire. Are you kidding me? One of them's literally named Ninja.
Right.
We just need to make this happen. When I write Weekend at Bernie's 3, I'm going to have Deontford and ICP be the only people on the soundtrack.
Okay.
Have them do the score.
I mean, that sounds like it'd be gangbusters. Awesome.
It'd be Big Money Busters. Awesome.
Speaking of Big Money Busters, Misery plays a character in that film. Plays a guy named Green Willie, one of the henchmen or whatever, one of the bosses that sit around the table. Not a henchman, a boss.
He has turned green from all the gold that he wears.
Yeah,
that's the joke.
Yep.
But this song also has a pro wrestling reference in it. Just says, "Time to say fuck it, Nitro's on."
I referred to that earlier in this episode. Thank you very much.
And I am pleased to announce that on Genius, the only annotation on this entire lyrics are the words "Nitro is on," with the verified annotation from the verified account of one MC Lars, nerdcore rapper and esteemed ICP fan, who explains that this is a reference to WCW, and MC Lars says, "This lyric is dope because it implies that the TV program is more important and profound than the memory of the deceased gangster. Jay has moved on without remorse and has found solace in mass culture." Good job.
Wow.
Awesome. I love it.
Wow, I just assumed that because it was probably around the same time ICP and Misfits were on Nitro.
Oh, no. No.
Was that later? I guess they were in WWE, I guess, in 98. And this is where we're around at 98, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So, because they were doing the oddities in 98. Late 98? Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
But that was my first assumption anyways.
Yeah. I mean, like, if anything, they were between employment at wrestling companies at the time. But it is, if you guys are not familiar with MC Lars, check out some of his raps. They're very good. And also, MC Lars runs every week. He posts a new video going over ICP's history, which is on YouTube. You can find that on his YouTube channel. It's very good. It's a good counterpart to what we're doing here, by which I mean it's much better than what we do.
Nice.
Sweet.
We hope to have MC Lars on at some point. I've talked to him a bit about coming on and talking about some shit, so hopefully we're going to make that happen. But at any rate, I appreciate his willingness to jump in and just be like, you know what? I got to fucking school some people on Genius about ICP lyrics.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Further thoughts? I mean, like, I honestly don't have much to add beyond totally serviceable rap track. Fits more in line with what they're doing than the Project Born track, although I prefer the Project Born track just because of how unusual it is for what ICP does.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's one of the better things that's like not directly ICP but featuring ICP. I liked it. I don't think I would. I don't own Para la Isla. I'm not gonna buy it. So it's fine. It's
as you said, it's a good precursor to what will eventually be Dark Lotus. It's got a more gangster feel. It's got a harder rap, more straightforward rap feel, and sort of the same vibe that we'll get from Dark Lotus eventually, although I don't think it holds a candle to anything off that first Dark Lotus album. But we'll get there. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves. Steve, thoughts on the Misery track?
No, I think I said pretty much everything I thought of it, which was just boiling down to I'd never heard this track before, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool song. And one of the reasons why is because, like I said, it harkened to, it made me feel like this is like what Dark Lotus will become. Even though Misery's not in Dark Lotus, but I'm just saying, like, it just reminded me of that good stuff.
That good shit. thanks for tuning in this week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in anytime you tune into the Dim Carnival. We'll hit you back here next week, and we're going to talk about the first 6 tracks off of the second disc of Forgotten Freshness Volume 2. It's Mr. Johnson's Head remix, Clown Love, the Headhunters remix of Hocus Pocus, Red Christmas, House of Wonders, and Mr. Rotten Treats. We're going to do half of this disc because fully half of the songs we're going to cover next week, we've already trod that ground in some form or another, although I'm sure we're going to have things to say about these remixes. And, that just means there's more time for more of our patented tangents that we've suddenly started going on.
The dim tangent.
Yeah. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. This is honestly one of my favorite weeks that we've ever done. So, guys, I hope any of this makes it into the final edit that Ryan does. But you can check out what Ryan's doing over on Instagram at Dim Carnival and on Twitter at Dim Carnival. Once again, if you got anything to tell us, please, we would love to hear from you. dimcarnival@gmail.com. And that was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you. Until next week, I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And remember to go ahead and floss, because you don't want to lose a tooth.
That's what I thought was cool is that we.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you want to just.
No, go ahead. No, what?
That there's
What's cool, right?
There's
Yeah, Ryan, what's cool?
So fucking cool.